¿Quieres ser un sábelo todo? You want to be a know-it-all? Well, then watch this video of el imperativo o los mandatos positivos en bajo de 10 minutos. Okay, so that means in 10 minutes, I'm going to teach you guys the imperative, positive, or affirmative tense. So the imperative isn't actually tense, it's a mood, which basically a lot of you probably don't know what this is. There are 3 moods in Spanish: the indicative, the subjunctive, and the imperative. And the indicative is kind of all the normal tenses like the present, the preterite, imperfect, future, and conditional. And this is a new one you guys probably didn't know. So in this video, I'm going to go over basically just the conjugations. And in another video I'll upload later will be like more examples of the tense. Okay, so let's start with 99% of the verbs, or the regular verbs. And we'll start with the 2 commands. Okay, so you basically, to conjugate it, it's really simple. You just put it in the L form, the singular form, LA usted. So comer would be come. Whoops. Hablar would be habla. And vivir would be vive. So basically this means if you're commanding someone eat, come, or eat it, comelo. Speak, habla. And vivir, you won't really use the command for that, but yeah. Okay, so for verbs that have stem changes in it, you include the stem change and you conjugate it normally. So empezar, empieza. Seguir, you have sigue. And medir, you have mide. So medir, obviously the E changes to an I, and in seguir, it's the E to an I again. So basically, just going over this again, empezar is kind of like, it's the verb to start. So you're saying, or empieza la juega, start the game. Seguir, sígueme, follow me. Or medir, mídelo, measure it. Okay, and now for the reflexive of the 2. So you add the te at the end, kind of like in any indicative conjugation, what you'd have. For example, cepillarse, you'd say, te cepillas los dientes. So it'd be cepillate. So you have it, the conjugated normally, like in the singular form, and you had te at the end. However, all reflexive in the 2 have a tilde on top of any. There's not really a set letter which it's on, but you kind of just see the accent on any. So siéntate or siente te. And for quedarse, it'd be quédate. So stay. Quedarse is a verb to stay, so it'd be like quédate ahí, stay there. Or cepillate los dientes, brush the teeth. Okay, so next for the nosotros commands. So when 2 commands are just commanding one person informally, the nosotros command is kind of commanding like a group of people. So if you want someone, a group of guys or girls to do something, I guess I can mean nosotros too, but not really. Okay, so for the nosotros, you conjugate it normally, but you change the E to an A or the A to an E in the emos or amos. So comer would be comamos, hablar would be hablamos, and vivir would be vivamos. So it's kind of like we eat, however, it's not really like, you don't really say the we because it's a command. So it's kind of like let's eat in a sense. Okay, for stem changes, this one's a little interesting now. So you have the stem change, however, it's not on every single verb. And also, if the verb ends in zar, car, or gar, like the preterite, you change it. So zar becomes semos, car becomes chemos, and gar becomes gemos. So empezar, empecemos, llegar, lleguemos, investir, vistamos. In destruir or construir or verbos así, verbs like that, you have destruiamos with the Y, construiamos. Okay, and for reflexive, you conjugate it normally. However, you had emonos or amonos, and this E right there, that E and this A always have accents, I believe. So cepillarse, cepillemonos, sentirse, sintamenos, and quedarse, quedamenos. So let's stay, quedamenos. Okay, next, the ustedes and vosotros forms. So for the usted, you conjugate it in the singular form, but you change the E to an A or the A to D. For comer, you'd have coma. Hablar, you'd have hable. And vivir, you have viva. It's pretty simple, this one. Now for the stem changes, you have the zar becoming se, gar becoming ge, and car becoming ke again. So empiece, jege, sake, and mide, I believe. In construya, you have construya. Oh my bad, it'd be mida, because it's I to an A. Okay, so next for the reflexive verbs. So like in this 2 we had over here, you had the te at the end, or you had the nos for the nosotros. Because in the reflexive, that's what you do. However, obviously for the usted and ustedes, it's se. So that's exactly what you do here. You have se. So, siéntase, quéjese, bañese. So you have to put an accent again, just like the 2 affirmative one. And you put the se. Okay. Ustedes is basically exactly the same. You just add an N because of the difference. Or not the ustedes, but like the plural. You see what I mean. So, comer would be coman, hablar would be hablen, and vivir would be vivan. So for llegar, it's the same as the usted, but lleguen. Sequen, for secar, and pedir would be pidan, I believe. So, and duchar, or ducharse, for these reflexive ones, the pronouns also use se again for the plural form. So you have the se here once more. So ducharse, duchen se. However, if you were in the usted one, it'd be duce se. So it's just the difference of the end. Apresurar se, the verb to hurry, to speed up. Apresuren se. Okay, versotros I'm not going to really touch because that like people don't really know that. But basically, it's just with the D. So comer, comed, dejad, and then a reflexive would be sentios. You had the os, and sacar, sacad. So there's no car to que. Oh, now for the other 1% of all verbs that are irregular. They're really the most common verbs you see also, my bad. So, and most of the time you just shorten it. You take away the ER, AR ending. Not always, though. So for tener, you have ten. For salir, you have sal. Decir, you have di. Poner, you have pon. For ser, you have se. For ir, you have ve. That's also the same for ver, though, so don't get confused with that. For venir, you have ven. And for hacer, you have az. So some examples, which I'll have in another video coming up later. For tener, you can have ten cuidado, be careful. That's an expression. To tener, though, you have decir, dímelo, tell me it. Poner, pon la mesa, set the table. Exclamation point, like a command. Ven acá, come here, or ven aquí. Haz la tarea, do the homework for hacer. Okay, there are also a few other regulars which I feel like you guys should know. So haber is e. Not 100% sure that's a regular, but that's also one that's, it's more uncommon, but it's still good to know. For estar, you have está with the accent. And then verbs that have inside of them other verbs still have the irregular change. So entretener, entreten with the accent. Deshacer, to undo. Deshaz. Entretener is the verb to entertain also. And satisfacer, satisfaz, or this one's also satisface. It's very irregular. And that's because you see the hacer. It's kind of like hacer. Okay, I'm going to skip to the usted form. So basically all these verbs are in their yo form. It's kind of with a G. And you put it back. So you have the 10 and you put with the G. And then you refer back to the A. Which you have. So basically you put a GA on the end of each of these. Except for a couple like ser, ver, haber. So tener you have tenga. Like 10 you have the GA. Salir you have salga. My bad, sorry, just gonna fix all these. For decir you have diga. Poner you have ponga. Ser sea, ir vaya, venir venga, y hacer haga. For haber it's aya this time. Estar you have este. Entretener, entretenga, deshacer, deshaga, y satisfacer, satisfaga. So just like that. Okay, so next for the usted form, you have tener or tengan. Basically, you add an N for all these. Salgan, digan, sean, vengan, entretengan, all the same. And for the nosotros, you had amos. It's the end of all of them. Digamos, hagamos, satisfagamos, all the same thing. So that's the imperative in under 10 minutes. I'm going to link this Google Slides presentation in the description. So if you want to look at it or like write it down if you have homework for it. Okay, so thanks for watching. See ya, Incha Pinchies.